Well, we believe there was a real demand for such a product, considering there is a certain amount of royal feelings for people in Australia, and having designed the product and put it on the market, we're very, very pleased with the consumer reaction to the initial release.
So the towels have been selling well?
Very well. We've sold over 1,000 units already.
Can I hear 40? Can I hear 40 to start? Can I hear 40,000 to start? Can I hear $40,000 to start? Can I hear 30,000? It can't be sold for that price, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you will realise that yourselves. 25,000 dive. Can I hear 35,000? 35,000 I've got dollars. It's against you, sir. Can I hear 40,000 I have? $40,000 I've got. $40,000. $40,000. We'll have to pass that one in, so would you like to have a yarn to me after about that, please? 45. Can you hear 45,000 started? So $55,000. For the second time, I'm asking, any extension on $40,000. I have $40,000. Any extension on $40,000? It's below the reserve figure at this stage. Can I hear 45,000? Can I get a bid?
Keep still, Pat. Oh, no. I wanted a... She got a pelvis yet? Yeah, at least. What about it? Yeah, it's fine.
Wendy, these latest medals that you've won make a total of 8 gold medals you've picked up over the years. Is it getting more difficult or easier to take them?
Oh no, it's getting a lot harder as the years go on. Yeah, more competition.
You're having to put more time into training?
Oh yes, a lot more. Yeah.
How often do you train?
Oh, I try to get to the rink as often as I can. I road train and also my bionic bike most of the time, in the morning and night.
So you've got to be super fit.
Yeah.
Is there much competition in speed skating here?
Not in Newcastle, there's not, no.
That must make it hard where you haven't got people to compete against.
It does. You know, I travel down to Wollongong a lot to get the extra training and the kids to train with.
You're going to go back and try again for some more gold medals next year?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll be out there next year.
Many years ago, Jim, I was going through Whitebridge Cemetery, and I saw a couple of headstones there from the Dudley 1898 disaster. I was reasonably familiar with that mine. There was another headstone in there of a John Learmouth who was accidentally killed in Redhead Colliery, and it was unknown to me and unknown to a lot of other people who were interested in mines at the time. And it was a photograph similar to this that more or less located the old Redhead Colliery in behind Lambton B.
So you dug around then and found it had quite an interesting history.
Yes, a very interesting history. Many mines in the Newcastle area experienced disasters and name changes, and so too did the Redhead Colliery. It was known by a series of names throughout its checkered career.
Do you think some of the early mines have just disappeared altogether? All traces have now been lost, as this one would have if you hadn't written the book.
Most of the in situ remains, Jim, of many of the old ones have in fact disappeared, and whether we like it or not, many of their permanent reminders are in fact in local area cemeteries.
After that, the group reports. I think this is going to be very important. And then we'll go around the circle like that. Very good.
These kind of meetings.
Coordination assist programs, it could be related to youth refuges, it could be related to we're lucky to have. It's obvious that there's going to be a lot of cuts in youth services as well as normal welfare service, and I think it's about time that we got together on a regional level and said, well, these are the problems that we are facing as workers, and if there's going to be cuts in services, well, how can we better coordinate what we've already got, or if there are dire needs, which there are, we've got to make it known to the relevant authorities.
Well, what sorts of dire needs are we talking about?
We're looking at rapid growth in both regions, which means that there's a lot of associated problems. Youth unemployment, as you're probably well aware, is very high in both regions, higher than the average in New South Wales. Youth homelessness is very high in both regions, and also funding for specific youth and recreation type leisure programs is probably lower in the two regions than in other areas.
best coal directly into the coal hoppers for transport out over the railway lines. The same features, the head frame, the chimney, the winding room. And it is amazing. Newcastle and the Hunter Valley generally. They wide run. I wouldn't know. No, Jim. It'd be pretty hard to put it into you, John knows. No, that's very good. Yeah. You know, I think we've let so much of it go. Yeah. Because we've been
The Health Commission employees you spoke to today gave you some impression that changes are needed in the Health Commission, if not these changes.
That's correct. They believe that changes such as the amalgamation of some regions and also natural wastage, if the job is not warranted, could be achieved.
Well, how could the government and the employees come to agree on what changes should be made?
Naturally by consultation. That on page 3 of the Ministerial Task Force report, it mentioned that consultation was necessary. That wasn't done, and that's the way to achieve what can be obtained by both parties.
Yes, definitely, because it's a major issue, and right across New South Wales, the feeling is there that now that the new ministry is set up, that the people should meet right across New South Wales and form a census out of this meeting to put various issues on land rights to the new ministry.
In this particular area, are land rights a major issue?
Well, yes, the feeling right across the community here in Newcastle, at this stage we've even got a claim in for Pilbara Highland, and it's been transferred over from a Parks and Wildlife into an Aboriginal place. So at this stage we then can take a lease on it for a cultural camp, which will be open not only to the Aboriginal people but to the community as well.
And there are other areas like that?
There is other areas around Newcastle which we'll be looking at in the near future, where there's unclaimed Crown land that we'll be looking at to claim for various community projects, and as an whole for Aboriginal people to hold camps and run cultural camps and functions on.
As far as football training is concerned, it's a bit indefinite because I'm not quite sure how much time we're taken up by the club. So it'll be a matter of seeing what sort of a routine I fall into and how much time I can allocate to football.
Stan, you brought in basically the real professionalism as far as training aside was concerned last year. It paid its dividends, you won a grand final. Would you hope that the other clubs in Newcastle will follow suit as far as that professional attitude is concerned?
Oh, certainly. You can only raise the standard in the whole area. I've noticed already that teams have started early with their training this year. They've slotted more sessions in. They're doing their 3 and 4 sessions. I think they're appreciating the advantage of doing those extra sessions and putting in the extra work. It's got to pay dividends for them, and it must raise the standard in the whole area.
Well, as far as the Premier's Western Suburbs are concerned, who will be in charge as far as conditioning is concerned this year?
Gordon Beveridge, background at Curry, was wingman there. Coached South under 23s for a while, so he's got a good grounding in football and professional running. Great bloke, and he certainly won't let the side down.
The Western Suburbs side is a little bit depleted from last year. Do you still rate them very highly as far as the 82 season's concerned?
Oh, they'll win. They lost 8 players in the conditioner last year and came back and won it easily. They'll do exactly the same this year.
I'll be right now.
Where were you before you moved to Singleton, Carl?
In Canberra for about 2.5 years. I had 19 very interesting months as Staff Officer Operations to Admiral Sinnott, who's our Chief of Defence Force Staff, and then 10 months, the preceding 10 months before I came here, as Director of Coordination Army.
And you were also in Vietnam and Malaysia?
Yes, I commanded a rifle company of our 1st Battalion in Vietnam, and then I followed on with the same battalion in Malaysia and Singapore.
Do you have any plans to change anything at the Singleton Barracks?
No, the place is very well run. It's been established for a long time. I'm very impressed with what I've seen to date. I think they're doing an excellent job. Any changes, I am sure, will be more of style rather than perhaps substance. In the early stages, I think it's most prudent that one looks and listens and is very careful and makes sure that if there is to be any change, that there's a damn good reason for it.
No, that's right. Well, you know, it looked as though I was wanting to do all the clinching, but really it was him that wanted to do all the clinching.
Peter, at the end of the fight, I saw you walk over to Jeff's corner. Was there at any stage there that you thought you'd lost the fight?
Well, I thought that it was close, but I thought Jeff may have won it. I could have taken a loss, but on reflection, I can see that there's a good possibility that I won as well.
Right, and what about a return bout?
Oh, that's on the cards for sure.
Very soon?
Well, I don't really know at this stage, but I'm looking forward to it anyway.
with the full support of within 6 months, council could have sold enough land to finance a $2 to $2.5 million hospital. No, Robin, I don't, because I think that the council ought to build a hospital. I think it's a viable proposition, and I think the people in the Tomaree Peninsula deserve it.
We have asked for 3 officers to be appointed there, so as their station is manned 24 hours a day. These requests have been denied, and in view of the latest decision of the hospital not being okayed, we think it's now time for the Health Commission to implement the 24-hour manning at Nelson's Bay.
I think that it's up to the public to make a decision, and when they've made that decision they will have to really work for it, and that means everyone in the area, not just a dedicated few but everyone, and I think this is the only way we're going to get our hospital.